it's such a nice day for a picnic. Oh, how about right here? Does right here look good for our picnic? Okay, all right. All right, let's spread our blanket out. Oh, this is so nice. Either way, we can go. So nice. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, and I brought us some snacks. I brought us some snacks so we can snack on. And I brought my photo book to be working on while you girls go play. Do you want to look at some of the pictures? This photo book is from the year 2020. Okay? You see how a lot of people are wearing masks? Yeah, you see how a lot of people are wearing masks? In 2020, there was a sickness. There was a pandemic. It came through and no one had ever seen it before. And so a lot of people wore masks to keep themselves safe from the sickness. And you know, a lot of things changed during that time.
During the pandemic of the coronavirus of 2020, many different aspects of everyone's lives seemed to be impacted and changed dramatically. There were many new ways of doing things in the world because of the virus. Some adapted easily, while others began wondering if they would ever be able to live life like it was in the past ever again. For example, the healthcare world began to change, and many wondered if it would ever return to what it was considered normal again. To begin with, everyone who entered the doctor's office or hospital was required to wear a mask. Yes, even children. No one was able to continue bringing their whole family to the hospital when a loved one was having a procedure done. Also, in the case of an emergency, only one visitor was allowed to enter into the hospital with the patient. In the case that this was a child, only one parent was allowed to be back with their child during a time of an emergency. This created much heartbreak and devastation for both the child and the parent. It was almost as if everything had suddenly changed overnight.
During this time, many houses of worship were closed. Lots turned to the world of social media to present their services. Some held drive-in churches where people stayed in the safety of their vehicles. Schools were dismissed for the remainder of the year. Teachers had to find creative ways to still teach students online. Lots of teachers turned to Zoom meetings with their students. Some teachers made videos of them reading stories just like they would in the classroom. Many students rely on the schools providing their breakfast and lunch. Some schools handed out food bags. Many school functions were put on hold. Sports, prom, and graduations were canceled or altered in some way.
The shelves at the grocery stores grew sparse. People were rushing to buy canned food, meat, cleaning supplies, and most importantly, toilet paper. For weeks and weeks, there was no toilet paper to be found at any store. Customers awoke early in the mornings to stand in line waiting for stores to open, but there was no toilet paper anywhere. People were even limited on items they bought. No one could buy more than 2 jugs of milk and 2 packs of hamburger meat. Food had to be rationed so there was enough for everyone. Inside the grocery store, people wore masks and gloves when shopping and checking out. They also had to make sure there were 6 feet between them and the next person in the aisle and checkout line. Grocery store workers spent hours cleaning doors, carts, self-checkouts, everything. Since everyone was required to stay at home, no one could travel anywhere. Flights and cruises were canceled. Beaches and theme parks closed, and vacations became staycations. People had to cancel all their spring break plans, and many summertime trips were canceled as well. Airports and train stations were empty, and big cities like New York, Paris, and Barcelona did not have any tourists roaming the streets.
Families stayed home. Children couldn't play at the playground. All parks were blocked off and closed. There were no more shows, amusement parks, fairs, and gatherings. Drive-by parades took the place of birthday parties. And the craziest part of it all, there were no sports. Kentucky Derby canceled. Baseball canceled. NBA and March Madness canceled. And even the Olympics were postponed to the following year. But many positive things came from this. Families slowed down. They were cooking together and having picnics. They were playing family games or playing together outside to pass the time. There was less hustle and bustle, and with that came less stress. Random acts of kindness were seen daily as they supported each other. Musicians held free virtual concerts. The earth began to heal from pollution as people stayed home, and wildlife thrived. The heroes throughout all of this were the healthcare workers and other essential workers that went to work while the rest of the world stayed home.
Oh, okay, children. I think that's enough for today. Are you ready to go play? Okay, bye, guys.